Hi everyone, my name is Kellie Morrissey and I'm presenting on behalf of my colleagues Doireann, Peelo and Steve Warren. We're all from the School of Design at the University of Limerick, Ireland. This video will give a brief overview of our 2022 SIGCHI paper entitled She's Just My Life, Digital Design to Support Women's Self-Other Care in Relationships with Their Mothers. Our study focuses on women's familial relationships through interviews with 6 Irish women about their relationships with their mothers, as well as ways in which they maintain the care of themselves and others within these relationships. Working from this data, we ideated a series of design concepts, and the paper presents them with critiques from our participants. From this exploratory work, we delineate 5 directions for future HCI research into women's close relationships. Digitally enabled and enriched interactions between family members have been a topic of interest in HCI and interaction design research for many years. Recently, trends have turned towards understanding how such interactions can help deliver and support well-being promoting messages and behaviours within families, as well as more efficiently deliver care. We also know that family units are important cultivators for health and well-being, from childhood to adolescence through to adulthood and older age. In the growing area of women's health and well-being, the mother-daughter relationship deserves particular attention. Classic psychological studies of mother-child relationships lay the ground for biologically rooted mechanisms of caregiving and seeking, as well as well-validated, almost universal patterns of attachment, which can persist into our adult lives. Around the world, mothers are overwhelmingly the primary caregivers of children, and daughters' relationships with their mothers have, for several decades, been studied as a locus of health promotion and health information. Caring as she does for her child's basic needs, food, shelter, safety, often the mother is also seen as the primary educator of the daughter regarding womanhood and women's health. In HCI, the family unit has seen similar interest for over a decade, with many studies repeatedly demonstrating the complexity and individuality of family relationships, as well as their promise for sites of digital interventions for health, care, and well-being. Running alongside this work is increasing attention paid to women's health, as well as HCI research that expands the notion of what it means to care and be cared for. This work has contributed towards a shift in focus in HCI that has helped to orient care away, though adjacent to, matters of health, shifting focus from care, a term that often connotes particular context for research, to caring, practices that involve care. Other researchers have connected care with activism, writing that many care infrastructures we are deeply embedded in are foundational to and serve to stabilize capitalism and colonialism, asking how is care work devalued, unsupported, or coerced under capitalism, and to what end? How does care work resist or build resilience against and within oppressive systems? In this work, we were particularly interested in speaking to working class women. In part, we wanted to do this to answer the call of authors who argue that investigating differing class values and structural realities is a necessary step towards more inclusive design in HCI. With this in mind, we spoke to 6 Irish working class women living in small towns in quasi-rural areas about their relationships with their mothers. We're Irish ourselves, we all have different class backgrounds, and given certain historic and present-day difficulties pertaining to women's health in Ireland, our paper also discusses the cultural context within which our participants live. We don't have too much time to talk about that here. Hopefully you'll read the paper to find out more. We analysed our participants' data using inductive thematic analysis. Working from that data, we then ideated a series of speculative design concepts which we felt responded to, but didn't necessarily solve some of the tensions and the moments of connections they expressed in their interviews. Please check out our paper for the full analysis. In the next slides, we're going to discuss one of our 6 concepts, as well as our participants' responses. Several of our participants connected time alone with self-care. For instance, Anya told us that with her significant caring responsibilities, that she can't do anything for herself. Several told us that it was difficult for them to switch off, and again, particularly for Anya, who due to COVID was cocooning with her older mother as her primary caregiver. She describes what that means for her. Well, the first thing that came to my head is that I don't get time to shower or put together a nice outfit. I don't make any time for myself. I don't even wash my face some days. In response to participants' descriptions of not having enough time alone, we created the idea of the alone timer. This is a product system solution that consists of a smartwatch app which reads biological data to note signs of stress, like elevated heart rate, poor sleep, and more, to prompt the user to take a break, and a paired hourglass, which gradually increases the amount of me time or alone time the user takes away from their caring duties, incrementally training them to put themselves first when it is possible and appropriate. All of our participants have serious caring duties which they can't simply abandon. Some look after a newborn, others care for an elderly parent. But it may be possible, for instance, for participants like Anya and Lynn to use an artifact like the alone timer to help overcome their own discomfort with taking time alone. When we sat down with them to show them the alone timer, most responses were really positive. Anya said that you've got to take a break for your own well-being and mental health and just take time out for yourself. So it's so necessary. Amma imagined using the device along with other family members. I also think that everyone in the house should have one as well. And I think that it should maybe have all of your information as a family go up on the app. So you can see each other's results and you can see like, oh, look, he or she has been spending this much time doing that. They need to take some time for self-care. So you can be like, oh, I'll cook dinner tonight, or I'll do this, and you can go off and have a walk, or you can go off and have some time for yourself. However, Ethna, who did not herself live with any caring responsibilities, thought that the device was pointless. I don't like the idea of like a piece of plastic on your wrist telling you need to spend an extra 5 minutes taking care of yourself, you know? See, like if you're at the stage where you need to buy this probably quite expensive product, this technology to like force yourself to take care of yourself, then you should look elsewhere. Like seek therapy, you know, invest your money more wisely. Our discussion brings together our findings with research from the disciplines which inspired it and offers 5 suggestions for future research in the area of design for women's close and familial relationships. These include applying principles from activist HCI, actively designing to allow disconnection from traditionally gendered care duties, technologies that allow users to identify aspects of their own health and well-being within their mother's data, with consent, of course, using design methods that plan for schisms over a lifespan, and incorporating more diverse gender expression in design for mother and daughterhood. So we'd like to thank you for spending the time to watch this short video, and we hope you will check out our paper in the proceedings. If you'd like to contact us, please do. You can reach us at the email addresses shown on screen. Thank you again, and goodbye for now.